Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today because we have some very exciting General Hospital news to talk about, and it's definitely worth the wait. I tell you what, folks, this one really got me shaking my head the other day. I've been watching General Hospital for more years than I care to count, and seeing Steve Burton, our Jason Morgan, mixed up in all this mess just hits different. You know, when you follow these characters for so long, they start feeling like family. So when I saw the news about him and his ex-wife Cherie going back and forth on social media, filing papers in court and fighting over their daughter Brooklyn, my heart just sank. It's one thing to watch drama on the screen every afternoon, but when it spills into real life like this, it doesn't feel exciting at all. It feels heavy. From what I've read, the two of them have been pointing fingers at each other pretty hard. Leaked messages, accusations about visitation schedules, all that ugly stuff. Some fans are taking Steve's side because they've loved him as Jason for decades. Others are saying Cherie has her reasons too. And then there's a whole bunch of us who just feel sad for the kids caught in the middle. Lord, those poor children didn't ask for any of this. They've got two parents who've moved on and found new happiness, but they're still tearing each other down in public. It makes me think about my own kids and grandkids. No matter how mad you get, the little ones shouldn't have to pay the price. I saw folks on Reddit going back and forth, some defending Steve, some saying both sides need to grow up. TMZ reported he's asking the court to step in because Cherie's been messing with his time to see Brooklyn. Whether that's true or not, I don't know the full story. None of us on the outside really do. But I do know one thing for sure. When parents keep fighting like this, especially on social media where everybody can see, the ones who get hurt the most are the children. They're watching, they're hearing, and they're carrying that weight. It's a shame, really. Steve's been through a lot in his life, and we've all seen him handle tough times on the show with that quiet strength of his. But this feels different. This feels like something that's breaking more hearts than just the fans. I keep hoping they'll find a way to put the kids first and quiet all this noise down, because at the end of the day, no award-winning soap opera story can top the real pain that comes when a family falls apart in front of everybody. I tell you what, this whole situation with Steve Burton and his ex-wife Cherie has been weighing on my mind for days now. I've followed General Hospital for so many years that seeing Jason Morgan's real-life troubles feels like family drama right in my own living room. From what I understand, the trouble started pretty simply, like so many of these things do. It was all about summer plans for their daughter Brooklyn. Steve wanted her to join some of those fun camps out in California during the time he's supposed to have with her. You know, giving the girl a chance to enjoy the sunshine, make new friends, and just be a kid. But Cherie saw it differently, and they couldn't see eye to eye on the schedule. What should have been a normal conversation between two parents turned into a full-blown storm. According to the reports, those little disagreements about summer camps and visitation times opened up a whole can of worms about how they communicate and how they're supposed to share custody. Before long, they were back in court, filing papers and pointing fingers at each other. I've been through enough life to know that divorce is never easy, especially when kids are involved. But Lord, it breaks my heart to see two people who once built a life together now treating each other like enemies. They've both moved on, found new happiness with other folks, yet the old resentment is still burning strong. That's the part that really gets me. I keep hoping the court will sit down and really listen to Brooklyn herself. She's not a little baby anymore. That girl has her own thoughts and feelings about where she wants to spend her summer and how she wants her parents to act. In my book, when kids reach a certain age, their voice should carry real weight in these decisions. Nobody knows better than the child what's hurting their heart. I sure wish more parents in these situations would remember that instead of letting pride get in the way. The fans are split right down the middle, just like you'd expect with anything involving our favorite soap. I've been scrolling through those Reddit threads and SoapNet forums, and it feels like sitting at a big family table where everybody's got an opinion. Some people say Cherie makes a fair point. Brooklyn's life is mostly set up in California with school and friends, so it's not right to pull her away too much. Others stand firm with Steve, reminding everyone that there was a clear custody agreement in place and he has every right to his scheduled time. A lot of the comments I read keep coming back to the same sensible idea. Why can't these two just act like adults and work it out behind closed doors instead of leaking messages and airing their dirty laundry for the whole world to see? That one hits home for me. Some things really should stay private, especially when children's hearts are on the line. Then you've got the stronger feelings pouring out I saw one fan write, "She seems pretty terrible with the scheduling, but Steve has let his kids down before." It reminds me of my own parents, and it was pure selfishness. Another person jumped in quick, "I'm not even a big Steve fan, but don't act like he completely abandoned his children." And then there were comments calling it straight up manipulation, planning things on purpose during his visitation time just to cause trouble and drive a wedge deeper. Reading all those different voices made me realize how much this story is touching people who've been through similar pain in their own families. It's not just Hollywood gossip anymore. It's real hurt, real kids, and real consequences. Me personally, I'm not here to pick sides and throw rocks at either one of them. I've lived long enough to know that in every marriage that ends, there are two sides to the story, and the truth usually sits somewhere in the messy middle. What I do feel strongly about is those children. Brooklyn and her siblings didn't choose this. They shouldn't have to watch their mom and dad fight on social media or read about it in the tabloids. Kids need stability, love, and parents who can put their differences aside long enough to do what's best for them. I've raised my own family, and I've seen how divorce can leave scars that last for years if folks aren't careful. I still hold out hope that Steve and Cherie will find a way to cool things down. Maybe step back, take a breath, and remember the good times they shared before all the anger took over. Because at the end of the day, no matter how tough Jason Morgan is on screen, in real life, Steve is just a dad trying to be there for his little girl. And that's something worth rooting for. I'm keeping them in my thoughts and praying this storm passes soon so those kids can have the peaceful summers and happy memories they deserve. That's all any of us old-time General Hospital watchers really want to see. I tell you, this whole custody battle feels like it's digging up old ghosts for a lot of us longtime fans. For some folks who've watched General Hospital through thick and thin, this situation brings back memories of Steve's life before he found happiness with Michelle Lundstrom. I still remember when the news broke about him and Cherie splitting up publicly. It wasn't pretty. Steve announced they were done not long after it came out that Cherie was expecting a baby with another man. That kind of hurt runs deep, and it's no wonder things between them have stayed complicated ever since. For years after that, the two of them kept most of the details about raising their kids pretty quiet. They didn't spill much to the press, and we respected that. But now, this fight has pulled everything back into the spotlight, and it makes me wonder if all this old pain is part of why Steve stepped away from the show for a while. Michelle has dropped a few hints here and there that outside pressures were weighing heavy on their marriage. Could this ongoing battle with Cherie be one of those pressures? It sure seems possible. Still, neither Steve, Michelle, nor Cherie has said a single word about this custody mess in public, and I reckon that's probably for the best. At the end of the day, I'm just an old fan who's watched Jason Morgan go through hell and back on screen for decades. Seeing the man behind the character dealing with real-life heartbreak like this reminds me that even the toughest guys have their limits. I hope Steve finds some peace in all this. More than anything, I pray that little Brooklyn and the other kids get the stable, loving childhood they deserve without being stuck in the middle of their parents' storms. Life's too short for all this fighting. What do you folks think? I'd love to hear how this sits with you. In the meantime, I'll keep tuning into General Hospital and rooting for Steve to come back stronger, both on the screen and in his real life. Family is everything, and I sure hope they figure this one out before any more hearts get broken.